So here, once we get connected with the network, we're ready to start our session for today. If you are willing to practice with us, you can settle down yourself and be comfortable yourself. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, make it straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, we'll take a few minutes to understand this, how this practice can help for us to develop our spiritual practice and how it can bring more wisdom to yourself. Because that clarity that you develop regarding the path will help for you to gain more result. And when it comes to this practice, this all we call as Dharma. So when it comes to Dharma, there are many meanings. Some people explain Dharma as this fundamental human nature and related to the Creator. And some explain Dharma as the law of nature. And that also sometimes based on different theories. And some explained Dharma as the teachings. So when it comes to the Buddha, that we call the Buddha Dharma, so what the Buddha taught is our Dharma. And that is a kind of like a teachings. But here, through the practice, what the Dharma that you understand. So the very basic meaning of Dharma out of this all, the ground that you hold, what you hold in you is your Dharma. And how you became like this, how that whatever the things that, the mind that you brought you to this level is your Dharma. Another way, the ground of being, the ground you hold it to. Another way, that your existence, your life itself, your Dharma. So when it comes to that, then what we need to understand, some told the existence came first and the experience happened later, or the object come later. Subject come first and the object appear later. And some teachings told the object is already there, appeared before, and the subject come later. So the experience already there. When the experiencer enter to that, he perceive it. But here, that your life itself, if you look very carefully, there is nothing going to be first. So the subject and object both happening together. So this is what that make your life happen. So whatever you see, and that seeing itself create the experiencer. So it's a kind of like a moment by moment, moment by moment, developing and happening as a paradigm shift. It's in everywhere. It is just not only that in our mind. If you look at subjects, science, technology, politics, environment, economy, this everything the same. It's moment by moment happens, and you can't separate anything as that the entities. There are no entities. These are all the activities. So moment by moment developing. So our purpose is understanding the Dharma means you're not going to bring any kind of knowledge from outside. So understanding Dharma means what? When you able to recognize the method of the subject and object experience, and the experience and existence, relationship, that is what understanding Dharma, that is what understanding nature. So then our purpose is not just recognizing ourselves, because you are not separate from outside world. You are the very result of the outside world. The world itself result of you. It's both together. So through the meditation, we deeply try to get into this core existence and happening, and try to understand ourselves. How this subject and object relationship develop. So for that, in the beginning, we have to develop awareness. So why we need to develop awareness? Because we have behavior, so that as human beings, we develop our observation. That observation means the basic information we get by seeing, smelling, tasting, hearing. So like that. And we depend on that. And not only that, we have behavior that when we observe, we infer it. So the inference means that something you make, that whatever that you experience, you think it as true. So your observation, you take it as true. And then it gives a kind of like a permanent identity, and kind of like a validation. Oh, there is something like that. So then you create the entity. Oh, this is me. Oh, this is that. So like that, when our observation develop the inference, out of that, it brings the kind of like the permanent idea. So another way that deeply that our perception always develop the conception following our past experience, and out of that, what happened, your emotions get influenced. And then the mind always get into a current to go with something. Because of that nature, we can't understand this subject and object both come together. Because without you, the seeing not going to happen. That whatever the outside object, not going to happen. No, you can't explain when you not experience it. Just imagine in the middle of the jungle, there is a tree. And because of the wind, it's moving here and there. If you don't see it, it is not a tree for you. And even though as a tree, it exists in the middle of the jungle, when it comes to your world, you can't explain it because you didn't experience it. So that your experience itself, whatever come to you, is your existence. And when the mind start to create something out of that with the kind of like the permanent idea, then it go beyond the experience, and that is the imagination. So once you caught up in imagination, other thing is again that it become the mental perception, and out of that mental perception, now it is totally happening inside you, and you develop another conception, and then another emotions, and then another validation, and then you come to a very permanent idea. So, and when it comes to that, we develop that when it comes to the society, what happens when the mental ideas come out of that, you develop a bodily, verbal, mental actions. So you want to make a social validation because it was not in the society. And then it calls sublimation. So the sublimations means that the socially unacceptable activities you develop as a social accepted activity. That is the one called that become matured. So, and look in it, 100 years back, if we look our life, we didn't have many crazy things like today. But that lot of crazy things, now it become new normal to the world. And then, and the society take it as a development. So when it comes to that, it's mostly not the reality, it is just the ideas. So people caught up on ideas and bring kind of like a validation and bring it to the society, and out of the society build up the culture and then get the validation, and day by day, it become new and it go forward, it grow, but it grow with the foundation of imagination. That is the danger. It grow with the ideas. When you grow with the ideas, again and again and again, culture, tradition, studies, this everything going to feed back and bring it and feed to your brain. What happens? You say, oh, I want to learn this now. I want to learn this now. And you go and learn it. You go and learn it. And you think that learning something is as wisdom or the Dharma, but you miss the real Dharma. What is the real Dharma? How you experience the world as a person. Have you ever thought about it? When you see something, you can say, oh, I saw it. So how the subject and object integrate? How the experience and the experiencer happens? So when you eat and you feel in a certain level, you feel, oh, I'm full. Have you ever thought that how that the food, it's from outside, and once you intake, your mental condition, as you felt like the discomfort because of the hunger came out of your physical condition and disappeared. So the hunger is create a kind of like emotions to express in a certain way, but once the material things react to it, and it disappears. And maybe once you bring something or somebody brought something and put it to refrigerate and you saw it, and maybe in the middle of the night you're sleeping and you start to see it. I want to go and eat it. And how that emotion drive that material things. So that emotional drive and the material is not two different things, because that experience, that happening itself, your life. So how it happens? And why it happens? When something is, you put it to the refrigerator, or maybe the cookies, candy, oh, so it is there. Why that you start to respond to it? Or maybe couple of beers, or the wine, soda, how you respond, why you respond. So then can you throw that and separate that whatever the object, oh, this is not belong to us. So if it is not belong to us, how that your emotions, your desires wake up? So that's me. So in case if you never heard that, if you never saw that kind of things, then that kind of emotions, desires not going to wake up like that way. So then what you experience the world today as this world, and at the same time this both happens together right now, right here. Not later one thing, not after one thing, not before one thing. This both happens together. And it happening, arising, and then it change. It changed to something. So this keep happening. This is you. This is your existence. And this happening, even the body disappear, that the power of the mind, because the main drive force is our desires, it keep happening. It keep happening. So how we can stop it? So before we stop, we have to understand, to see this. So seeing that yourself, how you experience this. So that is Dharma. Understanding that is Dharma. And once you understand that, you recognize this, the base, the main point is the mind. And we have misunderstanding regarding mind most of time. We think the mind has nature always to go away from us. But the mind, the true nature of the mind is to come back. Stay inside you. Settle down. Your tranquility state is the true nature. That's why you can achieve to Samadhi. Otherwise, if the mind is the true nature, how you can achieve to Samadhi? As ultimate result in Tranquility Meditation. Because you're not going to, as a separate entity, and fight back and bring the mind and hold and tight it to something. No. So when the mind, when you settle down yourself, when allow everything to happen as it is, then the mind going to settle down inside. So that's mean the true nature of the mind not going out. So the true nature of the mind settle down. So then that our misunderstanding, misbehavior always drive this mind here and there, and not allow mind to be in its place. Not even the mind, so that we have the behavior. We as ordinary people, we not allow even the things to not stay in the place. So that's why when it comes to the sitting, let your leg to be there like that. Let your body to be that like that way. Why you want to do something? And even that sometimes at home. So we have idea, maintaining. We don't want to allow a tree to grow as a tree. When you become a gardener, you take authority. Oh, you take the ownership. That's why when you have a garden in California, it's a kind of like a privilege for you. Oh, I have a garden. So why? Because you have power to maintain. And what you do? You interfere even to the nature. Oh, we are the human. We have to do this. I know how to do this. I know how to do that. But you don't see. You and tree, that the both the same. Just imagine our most important thing is our inhalation and exhalation. And then who purify this inhalation, exhalation? We don't have the strength to do that. This all the nature, environment do it for us. And our food, look that, from where it comes. No, it's all about outside. We can't develop any food inside us. We always need to depend from outside. So what does that mean? Because you are part of it. So that's the connection that you have to understand, even in a very, very basic way. And then you can go deeper into mind and see. So it's just not a intellectual understanding. It is, you have to go through experience. There is a method to go through experience. That method we call meditation. To cultivation your awareness, through cultivation your mind, and you go into the deeper observation without inference. So that's mean that the inference come out of the influence by the past experience. So then you observe and let it be there. And you're not going to feed to your observation by thinking. So that is a challenge. Why it is a challenge? Because we used to feed. Whatever we see, we feed through actions. So now you develop a method. So then that method, tranquility state, and then once you develop the tranquility state, that means you allow your mind to be there. Come back to it. Just settle down. That's what you call develop the undisturbed mind. Samadhi. So this is a kind of like another way. It's that you have to develop the method of isolation. Isolation means that you get the mental formations and then you isolate that mental formation, your inhalation, exhalation, and you go with it. That is a power. Because we can't do that in day-to-day life with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, that all the perception we gain. And we go with this everything, with the conception and the emotions, and this everything is a kind of like a flux and the mess. You can't separate things. So that's why the meditation practice with the self-discipline, we come to a point to just isolate our experience right now, right here, what the whatever happens. You can take your inhalation, exhalation, or you can take your body, you're observing the posture, or any sensation in your body, like when we go to the four foundation. So whatever happening in this very moment, your mind settle down with that, you isolate that mental object from other things. So isolation. And once the mind settled down there, because it happened one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one, this kind of like a go second by second frame, these things. So then it is just not only one-way experience or with the one thing. An inhalation, exhalation, long, short, heavy, soft. So this kind of many things happens. But you have to develop the method to isolate inhalation, exhalation. That's become power. And then you develop it to more. And it is a long inhalation. It is an inhalation. It is a long. You more get into the character. It is an exhalation. It is a long exhalation. And then you develop your awareness more deeper. It is an inhalation. It is long, but it is very soft inhalation. It is an exhalation. It is long, but it is very soft exhalation. So then you observe the beginning, the middle, and the end of the inhalation, exhalation, and you know it is long or short, heavy or soft, and then the warm or cold. Just imagine, you recognize this is an inhalation, this is long or short, this is heavy or soft, warm or cold. With one inhalation. See, the mind, when the mind have power to isolate, you can go more deeper, even with one single inhalation. And with the exhalation, the same. So many details. It is exhalation. This is the beginning, middle, and end of the inhalation. The exhalation, entire continuation. It is through that you recognize it is a long or short, and then you recognize it is heavy or soft. You recognize it is warm or cold. This is all that right now happening. It's not any kind of imagination. So that is your true experience. And once you get into that, and there are more, and then the body also calm down when the inhalation happens. You can now you can bring more details into that. Then we can talk even for one day. Long inhalation, it is the beginning, the middle, end, and the warm or cold, and it is soft or hard, and how the body react to it, and how the mind come to that, mind calm down, or mind become more busy with that inhalation, exhalation, and how the thought arising. So this all happening in the one inhalation. But when you have power to isolate, you get into that deeper recognition. And then what happens? When you go to the vipassana, you integrate that everything together and experience as one. So tranquility meditation is isolating, go part by part, one by one, one by one, not mixing each other. Go one by, recognizing in details one by one, one by one. And when it go to the vipassana, you develop very vigorous and the strong observation, thoroughly, deeply observe and experience and recognize this everything together. That's mean when the inhalation means in that level, you know that inhalation is not a certain kind of entity. It is a collection of activity. And when you have that understanding what happened, even though you know it is as an inhalation, there is no identity. There is no permanent character for the inhalation, because you know that even though you say inhalation, in the deeper, it has a deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper activity. So once you experience it with even one single moment of experience with the body and the mind and the world, that's mean the subject and object. One single moment, if you able to experience that level of integration, it is irreversible experience. And from that point, anything that come to your mind or whatever you experience, rather than labeling, naming, rather than make it as a entity, you have wisdom to see things happen as a result of many things. So that is the deeper mechanism of cause and effect, causality. So then you know whatever you smell, hear, taste, so anything, your perception and the perceiver, this both happen according to the cause and conditions in that environment. And that will bring the wisdom to understand how things come to be as they are. So that is what another way to call the Dharma. So Dharma means what? Your existence. So to understand it, why you need something from outside. So then what you need to do? You have to look into yourself and see, what is this experience mean? And when it comes to that, you can't say it with the self-centered view. You can't see it with the self-centered mind. So that's why in the beginning we need to practice this little by little, little by little, little by little. So it is possible. So we're not going to do anything. We just allow things to settle down. So then remember yourself, don't try to do things. Just at least try to allow things to settle down. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. Your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line. So be comfortable with your posture and bring your attention to your body, please. Scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Sopatveva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment. This is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime. And detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. Through the sensation, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chamni sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya imaya dhamma anudhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi Dhammang pujemi sanghang pujemi attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjissami idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.